Well, hey there, creepy critters, and everyone new to our show, channel, whatever. Today we're talking movies. We've seen so many movies. That's all there is to do.
Specifically movies like that you can rent right now, and that are like, you have to pay a little bit to rent them.
Yeah, this is like more what we're talking about. When it's me, I only talk about new movies. I don't talk about old shitty movies that you all watch. I only watch the brand new stuff because I keep up on this. I'm on top of it, so I only watch the new things. So that's what we talk about when you see me and her. This is the new stuff. We've seen. Okay, what's
normally it would be what we saw in the theater this
Yes.
weekend, but that's not happening. So it's all streaming right now.
Yeah.
First, we're gonna talk about Spell, and that came out in 2020. It is, I believe, $5 to rent right now. On like, whatever you rent video on demand on. It's an all black cast, so that's kind of fun. Like, we don't see that very often in horror at all.
Yeah. Especially like being both the villains and the good guys. Like usually when you have like these kinds of villains,
yeah, then it's like
it's usually white people.
yeah.
So it's interesting that we kind of get the hillbilly black folks in this movie. This is really interesting.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this one.
Yeah,
like
because like, I don't. Is it exploitative to use people in that kind of a light to like show? Is it more of the trope that all rednecks and all mountain folks are?
Well, and then the whole
like
witchcraft, and then how sometimes how it's portrayed with black people can be a little
tropey, a little exploitative.
just
but
not PC.
but
but horror's not normally PC. So.
But it was interesting to see, like a more well-to-do black man coming back to the area he lives.
Yeah.
And being faced with this oppressive kind of old religion.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting look at that. So one like warning, obviously. It is delivered by a black person, so at least a white guy calling somebody the N-word. But the N-word is said once, so fair warning. But it is actually quickly. No, wait, never mind. I won't say that. Never mind.
Yeah, well, we'll get. You can see the movie. It's mostly that it's like the kids making fun of these country folk.
Yeah.
That makes the mom so mad about it because it's like because he doesn't say it as like just like hey guy. He says it like fuck these people.
Yeah.
So it's
that
very,
they're rednecks.
Yeah.
They're lesser than.
Yeah.
But so that's an interesting look. Yeah.
About how that kind of racism and
can
stuff
still happen even within.
Well, it's so embedded in our society.
It is. Maybe someday we'll learn from our mistakes.
Yep. Doubt it.
Probably not.
Anyway, Spell's pretty good movie. I'd give it like a B plus maybe.
Yeah, I wrote down B plus. So
the acting was pretty good. It was an interesting film. Had a bit of a Texas Chainsaw hillbilly kind of feel to it. It was pretty gross in parts. There was a very cringe scene that was hard to watch.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh, another trigger warning. There was animal murder. So.
Yep.
If that's something you need to be warned about, fair warning. I think that was mostly it was worth a $5 rental. I definitely enjoyed it. It was different and new and.
If you like hillbilly or old religion horror, this is something you'd like to check out.
Yeah. Okay, next, because we've been hearing all kinds of good things about it. Deep Blue Sea 3.
Well, I mean,
if you didn't realize there was already a second one.
Yeah. And this one is definitely a sequel to number 2.
Yeah.
The first one is very standalone. And then the second two are more of a series. Because it's like a whole new experiment kind of thing they're doing in number 2, like with the clicker, and he's like...
Yeah.
remote
We're
control
probably gonna
trucks.
go more in depth about all three
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
and our opinions
We're not
on
gonna
all
do
three
that
of them.
today, but we're gonna
Not
we'll
today.
We'll have a Deep Blue Sea episode.
Yeah. But today.
Today we're just talking about number 3,
Number
and we won't
three.
get into it too much since we'll do a whole episode.
I
about
believe it was $20 to rent. I could be wrong.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess we just rented all.
it wasn't right. Yeah, we just bought all 3 because we didn't own the original yet. So I was like, the original's good enough to own.
Yeah.
So I'll just and then get all 3 of them. And I paid for 1 okay movie and 2 terrible ones.
It's okay. At least we have the first one.
But Deep Blue Sea 3 is a direct sequel to 2. I mean, it has new characters, but the storyline continues from the first one. Like, it's one of the sharks that got away from the first one. And I think the thing I liked the most about this one was the concept of the man-made community floating island. Like, they all
that was
lived on, like, a
interesting.
man-made floating island with all these floating rafts with houses connected together, so it looked like a floating village, and that was a really cool concept. I like that idea. I think that's neat.
Yeah.
But that was just the setting.
That was about it. I looked at my notes for Deep Blue Sea 3. This page has lots of for 1 and 2.
Then 3 is like
And then this is all of my notes for 3. It's one thing. And it says 3 shark fins at the beginning because I thought that was stupid and funny that they had 3 shark fins splitting. Yeah.
3.
And then apparently I lost interest.
I'd say my biggest complaint with Deep Blue Sea 3 is I know number 2 is really bad, but number 2 was so over the top and sort of wacky and ham-fisted and badly acted that it was entertaining. And 2 was fun to watch because of how stupid it was. But
Yeah.
Why would you make a direct sequel to the worst of the 2 movies? Why wouldn't you make a direct sequel to the first one? And just skip the second one that's terrible. But it's this movie. They tried a lot harder than the second one to make it like a more serious film. But then there's parts of it that are so fucking goofy that the seriousness just lost its edge. It just made it boring. It was really wacky scenes with really boring parts in between.
Yeah.
This has a unreasonably high rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, maybe you'll really like it. I don't know. There's people that really enjoyed it.
I just thought this movie was really stupid.
Yeah.
It was as stupid as the second one, but not as fun to watch.
Maybe it would have been funner if we didn't do all 3 of them in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe watching all 3 Deep Blue Seas in a marathon. Maybe the third one harder to watch by the time we got to it. But man, it was very dull.
Yeah.
And nothing new really, kind of the same deal. But if you really like number 2 and really like shark movies, you might like this.
Yeah.
Shark movies aren't my favorite category. I like some.
You like Jaws.
I love Jaws. But that's also because of like
the cast
and the stories behind that movie, like how much trouble they had making it, and the trouble they had making it made it a better movie. Like the reason you don't see the sharks so much in Jaws is because the animatronics didn't work right. Which to me, that's why you only see his fin most of the time. And that's so much more effective.
Yeah.
When I don't remember who did the music, but when the guy who did the music showed the music to Steven Spielberg, he laughed and said, "Where's the real theme song?" And now that's one of the most iconic theme songs of all time. So it's just there's certain charm to Jaws that's missing from something like Deep Blue Sea 3.
Yeah.
The acting wasn't bad though. I mean, it wasn't bad acting. It was just the script was really silly, and they tried it with a really serious tone.
Yeah. That's a fair assessment.
So I'd probably give it like a C-.
Yeah.
Maybe a C.
Maybe a C.
Yeah. Because it wasn't like the worst thing I've seen. It just was dull.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is Shadow of the Cloud. And that one was
Shadow. Is it Shadow of or Shadow in?
I put Shadow of
Well, it
the
might be.
Cloud,
I'm
but
not sure.
I'm probably wrong.
No, I mean I don't remember. I keep calling it Shadow Clouds and Cloud Shadows.
But this has what is her name? Chloe Grace
Moretz or something.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure we're saying
The girl from Kick-Ass.
Which we love her.
Hit
And
girl.
she really is the only savior of the movie, really. Like if it wasn't for her and her acting, it might have been really hard to get through. This one's $20 to rent. I personally think I might wait until it's a little cheaper than that.
Well, I think we just owned it. I don't think it was a rent.
Oh, that's right. We
owned
had
it.
to just buy it for
Yeah.
$20, I think.
Yep.
I might be wrong, but I think that
I'm pretty sure we just had to buy it. Or at the time, the price to rent was so high that the difference between owning
Oh
and
no!
renting...
Okay, I wrote down $20 to rent or $25 to buy. So we just
bought it. I mean, I
it was a gamble.
This wasn't too bad. I might watch it again someday. She did a really good job, I thought. But mixed feelings about this one. I thought the whole concept here is that Twilight Zone episode with William Shatner.
If you've seen the Twilight
Or the
Zone
movie.
episode or the Twilight Zone movie,
Yeah,
then you probably kind of know
Gremlin
the
on the
basic-
wing thing. That's what's going on here.
I mean, there's a little more to it, but that's
Yeah.
like the main basic plot.
The main girl like sneaks onto an airplane, like a military plane going somewhere, and she has confidential stuff that can't be seen, so she can't tell anybody else why
She has
she's
a
there.
precious box that she needs to get
And
delivered.
while she's doing this, she comes face to face with a horrible monster, toxic masculinity. Oh, and then a gremlin.
90% of this movie, she's in the same tiny little space.
So I do like when movies do like one location horror movies, kind of claustrophobic movies. That's really good. If you have a fear of heights or a fear of flying.
Here's your reminder. Take a pill.
Alexa,
Shut the fuck
shush. She didn't listen to me. Anyways, so you get like you get that sense of claustrophobia, and anyways, so I don't want to give out too much away with this movie because it has some twists, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because we already said that it was kind of like the Twilight Zone episode, you know.
But
more way.
but here's the issues I have with this movie and why I didn't enjoy this movie.
It's really uncomfortable to watch for a while.
I mean, I know that that's what it's like sometimes, a lot of times for women. I understand that. But we're sensitive people, and I know it's like a privileged place to say, well, I don't want to have to see that. But Jesus, I don't want to have to see that. The men in this movie are just the biggest pieces of shit ever. And just non-stop make the creepiest, rapiest jokes about this girl the whole time. And the violence and anger they have towards her is
really
very uncomfortable.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
It's truthful.
It's true, but it's a rough.
It's definitely
A
a hard
rough
watch.
thing to see.
Yeah. And then, and we should be. If you're a woman that can
Has ever been, if you've ever had experienced trauma like that in your past, this
Then
movie
maybe
is going to
hard
be
to
probably
watch,
really
yeah.
fucking triggering because, I mean, I haven't experienced anything quite like that, and it was super triggering and hard to watch. Just like anybody who's had to deal with bullies or just anything like that.
Yeah.
This is a rough one because there's like nobody on her side in this movie.
Yeah.
Not even the gremlin. But
I was gonna say. I mean, this is off subject, but the beginning had a cute little animation propaganda. Thing.
Like it was like an old Looney Tunes with the gremlin, like Bugs Bunny and the Gremlin cartoons, which is, propaganda because the whole idea is that they're not gremlins, it's just because of lazy people, which is ridiculous because mistakes happen all the fucking time. That kind of just work until you're bleeding and dying is ridiculous and antiquated and does not keep into account disabled folks or anything like that. So I liked how they pointed that out and used that as kind of the metaphor for this movie. Some of the stuff in this movie going with that. I
was gonna say, you pointed out like the animation was really well done and it looked right, except it was too clean.
It was too clean. They did the stuff to make it look like it was an old video, but
Yeah.
the animation itself, lines are not that crisp when they're hand drawn. They're just, it looked like it was made with a computer.
Soundtrack is all over the place.
Yeah, it had a really weird 80s soundtrack
And
that
towards
never
the beginning,
fit.
and then like, yeah, yeah.
It never really fit the movie. It was weird choices soundtrack wise.
Then there's a weird fight scene with like just the cheesiest. It almost sounded like, you know, like
Looney Tunes again.
or an English comedy, like
Yeah.
where like they're running around. Like it was just really weird choices
Like,
for music.
shit, what's that? That Benny Hill theme?
Yeah,
you know,
it's kind of like that kind of thing. I mean, it wasn't
Hey, we're
quite
dying.
like that, but it seemed it sounded kind of similar to that style. It was weird.
It was mostly disappointing.
Tone was really weird.
Another
too.
thing that was really strange that we thought at the very beginning, she sees this guy like at the airport waving the things to wave the planes in, and then fog comes by and he mysteriously vanishes, and that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It was just something that
Unless
happened.
like a gremlin took him, but like they didn't do anything to make you think
No,
that.
I just fucking
We thought it
disappeared.
was some weird paranormal thing.
Yeah, like,
and then
is it
you
a
had
ghost?
already looked up the plot.
Is it a ghost thing? And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh no, this is like a Gremlin movie.
Like I said, yeah, the tone was really weird and all over the place. Sometimes it was a comedy. It's listed as a horror comedy, but there was like maybe 3 seconds of it that I felt
I guess
was like
if you find really gross, rapey jokes towards women funny, then you're gonna fucking think this is hilarious. That's not our cup of tea.
Yeah. So her acting's great, but again, yeah.
I mean, her acting's okay. This whole movie's super campy, so
Yeah.
I mean, it has a campy feel. She does pretty good. Yeah, she does good. Like her acting in the small chamber, like, you know, I don't know. This movie was okay.
Yeah. CGI is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not the best CG.
I wrote down like we probably gave it like a B-ish.
Yeah, I'd probably
Maybe
do
more
B,
like a B
B
minus, yeah.
Anyways, so those were the movies, some of the new movies. We got a big 2020 list coming soon.
Yeah.
I probably won't be in that. It'll probably be that asshole. But yeah, the 2020 list is coming soon, and we're gonna talk about some of the other films we've seen. We've seen a lot of good, mostly bad movies.
There's a few gems in there, but there's a lot of not so great.
There was not anything I saw this year since quarantine, at least.
Yeah, before quarantine, there was a few awesome ones, and they'll be on our list. But yeah,
But then after
I
quarantine,
haven't seen too much real special.
even the big blockbusters this year, like Tenet and Wonder Woman, were kind of a letdown.
They're just okay.
Yeah, they were fine, but nothing super noteworthy or rememberable. I don't know. Maybe it's just because quarantine has made things hard to make movies. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why the quality is suffering really bad with these movies. But I think a lot of these were mostly done before.
Yeah.
They pushed Wonder Woman back a lot, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be out Christmas last year, wasn't it?
No, it's supposed to. Oh yeah.
Wait, not last year. Was
no.
it last year? No.
It was supposed to be Christmas of 2019, I think, and then they pushed it to the summer.
And then Corona, and then they had to push it back further.
Or maybe it was already supposed to be in the summer. I don't know. But either way,
I was thinking that the Wonder Woman was mostly wrapped.
it was definitely mostly wrapped before quarantine.
Yeah, so that doesn't excuse the choices there. And we thought about that more since our review, and there's a lot of moral problems with that movie.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that because we left that out and just because we didn't.
It wasn't
think
something
about
I really
it.
thought about at the time because it was just like
The movie
was so dumb
silly.
anyway.
I really
just kind of
didn't
turned my
think
brain
about
off.
it.
But then it's like, oh yeah, they like took over this guy's life, and he had sexual intercourse with her.
Is that rape?
Is that rape?
Kind of.
Yeah. Weird choices in that movie, huh?
And it was unnecessary too. Like a lot of articles I read too, like they were like, well, you were writing this, you could. Like, there wasn't...
You
he
literally-
didn't have to go into a real person.
You literally have a movie about
You could
fucking
wish
aliens.
for anything.
You have a movie about fucking aliens from like outer space
Why did he have to...
superheroes that
why
come
did
here
he
to
have to
Earth
come into
and
a...
save us, and they couldn't
person.
figure out a better way to handle that. It's like, were they worried about realism?
Like, it's just like there's so many other ways you could have handled that writing-wise.
And if they wanted to do that, that would have been an interesting kind of thing to explore.
But you need to, like,
but in a
discuss
serious
it
way.
in
It
a-
can't be
yeah.
like such a silly cartoon like this was. Anyways, that's just some last thoughts on Wonder Woman. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and join us next time.